The April CPI report just dropped. And the number should concern every working professional. Inflation accelerated to 3.8% year-over-year, up from 3.3% in March, the highest annual rate since May 2023. And the data underneath the headline tells a much bigger story. This is your briefing. April CPI, 3.8% year-over-year. Monthly, 0.6%. Energy alone accounted for over 40% of the monthly increase. The Strait of Hormuz is still blocked. Oil is still elevated. Gas is still climbing. Food prices up 0.5% in a single month. Food at home up 0.7%. Shelter up 0.6%. These are not categories you can opt out of. This is what's hitting your household budget right now. And here is what the Fed just confirmed by not cutting rates. With inflation accelerating, rate cuts in 2026 are essentially off the table. Futures traders are now pricing in zero cuts for the rest of the year. The math just got worse. And it is staying worse longer than anyone expected. Let me translate what 3.8% inflation means for a working professional. If you got a 3% raise this year, you took a real pay cut. If you got a 4% raise, you barely held the line. If you got nothing, you lost almost 4% of your purchasing power in a single year. And here is the layer most people miss. Mortgage rates stay elevated because the Fed cannot cut. Credit card rates stay punishing because the Fed cannot cut. Housing remains unaffordable because the Fed cannot cut. Meanwhile, 100,000 tech workers have been cut in 2026. Tech layoffs are up 33% year-over-year. Companies are cutting workers while posting record profits. That is not a contradiction. That is the split economy. Record markets. Record layoffs. Inflation accelerating. Wages losing ground. All happening simultaneously. All confirmed by today's data. Move 1. Your salary negotiation just got more urgent. If your raise this year doesn't beat 3.8%, you are getting poorer. That is not opinion, that is math. Use today's data point in your next compensation conversation. Inflation ran at 3.8% in April, the highest in 3 years. My current increase doesn't keep pace. Here is what I am asking for. Move 2. Audit your fixed costs. Energy, food, shelter, the things you cannot opt out of are exactly where inflation is hitting hardest. Review every recurring expense. Cancel anything you do not actively use. Lock in fixed-rate alternatives where possible. The household with controlled fixed costs has more flexibility when income gets disrupted. Move 3. Build runway intentionally. With layoffs continuing and inflation eroding wages, the working professional's financial buffer matters more in 2026 than it has in a decade. 3 months minimum. 6 months if you can. 12 months if you want real options. That number is your job security in 2026. Not your performance review. 3.8% inflation. Fed locked out of rate cuts. 100,000 tech workers cut. Markets at record highs. This is not stabilizing. This is the Great Contraction's middle chapter. The headlines will tell you the economy is fine. The data tells a different story. Comment squeeze below if you feel the gap between the headlines and your actual financial position. This is what the talent. The move is yours.